Hello, Dub Nation. It's always a pleasure to connect with you, especially when we're about to reveal the latest news that could shape the future of our beloved Golden State Warriors. But before we dive into this whirlwind of information, I have a friendly request. Show some love by clicking the like button to strengthen our bond. And hey, if you're not subscribed yet, join our channel for an exciting and adrenaline-filled journey. Don't forget to turn on notifications to stay ahead of the game. The NBA season is heating up, and the Golden State Warriors have been showing clear signs that they're still a powerhouse to be feared. After an inconsistent start, strategic adjustments and a smart market move have completely transformed the team. At the center of this revolution, two young talents are stealing the spotlight, Brandon Podziemski and Moses Moody. But how did this sudden rise happen? The impact of the team's new star, Jimmy Butler, goes far beyond the numbers, and we're here to break down every detail. It all started when the Warriors decided to take a risk and bring Butler in to strengthen the roster. The trade was a game-changer, not only because it added an all-star caliber player to the team, but also because it redefined roles within the squad. Since his arrival, Golden State has an impressive 4-1 record, proving that the bet on Butler was more than justified. However, what's drawing attention isn't just Butler's contribution or Stephen Curry's consistency, but rather the way young players, once considered mere supporting pieces, are stepping up unexpectedly. Podziemski and Moody, two players who had already shown potential, have now become essential cogs in the Warriors' machine. In their last matchup against the Sacramento Kings, Golden State dominated from start to finish, winning by an emphatic 132-108. But the most impressive part? Despite the presence of stars like Curry and Butler, the victory was fueled by the explosive performances of the young duo. Moses Moody had a stellar game, scoring 22 points and knocking down 5 three-pointers. He showed significant improvement in attacking closeouts and finishing plays efficiently, hitting an impressive 8 of 11 from the field. On the other hand, Brandon Podziemski wasn't far behind, contributing 21 points, along with 3 rebounds and 5 assists. His performance was crucial in maintaining the team's offensive flow, and he finished the game with a plus-minus of plus 21 in just 30 minutes. The most exciting part for the Warriors is that this young duo isn't afraid to take important shots, something essential to ease the pressure on Curry and Butler. Since his arrival, Jimmy Butler has brought not just his skill, but also a winning mentality that has been contagious. Andrew Wiggins, for example, has always been a talented player, but he was never the type to elevate his teammates' performances. Butler, on the other hand, is exactly that kind of player. His ability to create plays and improve those around him has been one of the most underrated aspects of this new Warriors era. And that's exactly what's allowing Podziemski and Moody to thrive. Before the trade, both had already shown promising signs, but with Butler added to the roster, they've found a new dimension in their games. Butler makes things easier by drawing defensive attention, creating opportunities that these young players have maximized. 2 weeks ago, Podziemski and Moody weren't even starters in Butler's first game with the Warriors. However, their performances quickly solidified their place in the starting lineup, which finally seems to be finding stability after so many changes throughout the season. Podziemski, in particular, has developed a special connection with Butler. Of the 161 minutes Butler has played since joining the team, Podziemski has been on the court with him for 114 of those minutes. Together, they boast an impressive net rating of plus 20.5, ranking second among all Warriors duos that have played at least 100 minutes together this season. Meanwhile, Moody is establishing himself as a true perimeter specialist, something fans have long hoped for. His three-point shooting percentage is now the second best on the team among players with at least 70 attempts. As a result, he's become a crucial piece in spacing the floor, especially considering that neither Butler nor Draymond Green is a consistent perimeter threat. Many look at the Warriors and see a team anchored by 3 veterans, Stephen Curry, Jimmy Butler, and Draymond Green. Jonathan Kuminga had already been establishing himself as a future star, but now, with Podziemski and Moody on the rise, Golden State finds itself with a much deeper roster than many expected. If this trend continues, the Warriors will have a 5th and 6th offensive option that few teams in the league can match. That's critical for the playoffs, where rotations shorten and every player needs to contribute meaningfully. With this new dynamic, the Warriors not only strengthen their chances this season, but also secure a more solid path for the years to come. Despite the excitement, the Warriors still have a tough road ahead. The NBA season is long and unforgiving. and the team will need to maintain consistency if they want to establish themselves as true title contenders. The synergy between the veterans and young players will be tested against elite competition, and it will be interesting to see how Podziemski and Moody respond to the pressure of big games. So far, they've shown poise and maturity, but the challenge will be sustaining that level as the competition intensifies. Jimmy Butler is still adjusting to the Warriors system, and his role as a mentor will be crucial for the development of the younger players. If he can instill his aggressive mindset and sense of urgency into the next generation, Golden State could become an even more dangerous team. The Warriors aren't just fighting for another title. They're building a promising future. The transition between generations is happening before our eyes, and the emergence of Podziemski and Moody could be one of the most significant moments of this new era. The Golden State Warriors are undergoing a transformation that could redefine what it means to be a title contender in the NBA. For years, the team's identity was strongly tied to the revolutionary playing style introduced by Steve Kerr in 2014-15, emphasizing ball movement, spacing, and three-point shooting. This formula yielded 4 championships and established the dynasty of Curry, Thompson, and Green. However, with the inevitable changes brought by time, a new direction was necessary. Jimmy Butler's fit into this equation was not just an addition of talent, but an injection of a different style of competitiveness and leadership. Unlike Kevin Durant, who arrived to elevate an already dominant team, Butler brought a blue-collar, defensive, and physical mentality, something that could be essential for a team that can no longer rely solely on Curry's brilliance to win. Looking at the roster as a whole, the Warriors are developing an intriguing balance between experience and youth. Curry remains the heart of the team, but now he has players around him who can ease his burden. Butler adds a sense of urgency and resilience, while young players like Podziemski and Moody bring energy, versatility, and the hunger to prove their worth. If the Warriors were once undeniably dependent on the Splash Brothers duo, Butler's arrival and the rise of young talents show that the team is already preparing for a new phase. This transition, as painful as it may be for fans, was already underway. Klay Thompson, one of the pillars of this dynasty, no longer has the same physical impact as before. His injury struggles have reduced his mobility, and the inconsistency in his shooting has become evident. Despite flashes of brilliance like his explosive 30-point games, he is no longer the reliable second scoring option he once was, and the numbers reflect this reality. This season, Thompson has shown concerning fluctuations in his shooting efficiency, and his defense is no longer at the same level. With the emergence of Moody and Podziemski, Kerr faces a dilemma. Continue relying on a franchise icon or give more minutes to players who, at the moment, offer greater impact on both ends of the floor? The answer isn't simple, but if the Warriors truly want to compete for a championship this season, they will have to make difficult decisions. With Butler, Curry, and Green as leaders, there is little room for error, and Kerr will need to find the ideal rotation as soon as possible. If there's one thing the Warriors have learned in recent seasons, it's that a productive bench can be the difference between a promising campaign and an early playoff exit. Last year, the team suffered from a lack of depth, relying excessively on Curry and moments of individual brilliance to win. This year, with new additions and the development of young players, the story seems different. Beyond Podziemski and Moody, the Warriors bench has pieces that can play important roles. Buddy Hield, known for his lethal three-point shooting, could be a decisive factor in playoff games, spacing the floor and punishing defenses that try to double-team Curry or Butler. Another crucial name is Kevon Looney. Though a quiet presence, his defensive ability and offensive rebounding are valuable assets for a team that doesn't always dominate the paint. In the playoffs, where every possession matters, Looney could be the kind of player who changes a game without drawing much attention. Lastly, we cannot ignore Jonathan Kuminga. Though he fluctuates between brilliant moments and quieter performances, Kuminga has the athletic potential to be one of the team's biggest difference makers. If he can find consistency, he could be the X factor that takes the Warriors to another level. If there's one thing that defines a championship team, it's the ability of its top players to elevate their level when it matters most. Stephen Curry has proven countless times that he can carry a team on his back in crucial moments. Jimmy Butler, on the other hand, is known as a playoff performer, someone who increases his intensity and efficiency when the competition gets tougher. The question now is, how will this duo function in the most intense moments of the postseason? The early signs are promising. Curry and Butler have different but complementary styles. While Curry is the greatest shooter of all time and a master of off-ball movement, Butler brings physicality, defense, and an innate ability to attack the paint and create opportunities for his teammates. In the playoffs, this combination could be lethal. If Curry is tightly guarded and defenses are trying to force the ball out of his hands, Butler can take control of playmaking, attacking defenses, and distributing passes to the team's shooters. Additionally, Butler could be the defensive difference maker the Warriors need to face more physical teams. Against opponents like Nikola Jokic's Denver Nuggets or the Boston Celtics with Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown, the presence of a defender like Butler could be crucial in leveling the matchup. With so many changes and a new identity taking shape, the big question arises. Can this Golden State Warriors team truly compete for the championship this season? The answer depends on several factors. If Butler continues integrating well into the system and the young players maintain their level of performance, the Warriors could be one of the most dangerous teams in the league. However, the road to the finals won't be easy. The Western Conference is extremely competitive, with teams like the Denver Nuggets, Oklahoma City Thunder, and Minnesota Timberwolves putting up impressive campaigns. To surpass these opponents, the Warriors will need to find their best version and, most importantly, keep their key players healthy. Another crucial point will be Kerr's adaptation to the team's new dynamics. The coach has already shown he knows how to lead championship teams, but now he needs to prove he can manage a team in transition without compromising present competitiveness. If the Warriors can overcome these challenges and enter the playoffs with a cohesive and healthy team, no one can count them out. After all, a team led by Stephen Curry and Jimmy Butler can never be underestimated. If there's one thing that separates good teams from truly legendary ones, it's mentality. The Golden State Warriors built a dynasty not just with talent and strategy, but also with an unshakable mental resilience. This culture was shaped by leaders like Stephen Curry and Draymond Green, and now Jimmy Butler arrives to reinforce this aspect with his intense and competitive approach. Over the years, we've seen how Butler can transform a team's identity. His impact on the Miami Heat was a clear example of this. He's not just a skilled player, he's a leader who demands excellence from his teammates and accepts nothing less than maximum effort. That mentality might be exactly what the Warriors need to reignite their competitive fire and overcome challenges in this final stretch of the season. Curry has always been a leader by example, someone who inspires his teammates with his hard work and impeccable ethics. But Butler brings a different approach, more vocal and provocative, which could be the perfect complement for a team that needs a renewed sense of urgency. This psychological factor will be crucial when the playoffs begin. We all know that postseason games are decided by details, by the resilience to overcome tough moments, the ability to stay composed under pressure, and the confidence that, regardless of adversity, the team can find a way to win. If Butler can instill this mentality in younger players like Podziemski and Moody, the Warriors will be in a much stronger position. After all, winning a title isn't just about talent, it's about having the right mindset. While the Warriors' offense has shown improvement since Butler's arrival, defense will still be a determining factor in their championship aspirations. During the peak of their dynasty, the team wasn't just known for its three-point shooting, but also for its suffocating defense and ability to force opponent mistakes. Today, that defensive identity needs to be rebuilt. Butler and Draymond Green are fundamental pieces in this aspect, but the rest of the roster will also need to commit to this philosophy. Podziemski, for example, has shown interesting defensive potential. While not an elite defender, his energy, game awareness, and constant effort make him a player capable of positively impacting the team in that regard. Moody, on the other hand, has the physical tools to be an excellent perimeter defender and is starting to show more consistency in that role. Another key factor will be team defense. Teams like the Denver Nuggets and Boston Celtics have highly dynamic offenses that require a well-structured defensive system and players willing to sacrifice. If the Warriors want to compete at a high level, they'll need a defensive approach that involves the entire team, minimizing mistakes and maximizing the potential of their most experienced players. With the postseason approaching, Steve Kerr will have to make some tough decisions regarding the rotation. While he has many options, he'll need to find the best combination to maximize the team's potential. At the moment, it seems clear that the Warriors' ideal starting five includes Curry, Butler, Podziemski, Green, and a center, possibly Kevon Looney or Draymond, playing the five in smaller lineups. This lineup offers a mix of playmaking, defense, and floor spacing, allowing the Warriors to execute their game smoothly. Off the bench, Moody and Hield should be the first options to strengthen the perimeter, while Kuminga can be a versatile piece for different formations. The key question will be Klay Thompson's role. With his recent inconsistency, he might end up shifting to a more situational role, being used when the Warriors need extra firepower. This doesn't mean Klay can't have a positive impact, it just means his role might need to be adjusted to better fit the team's current needs. Another crucial point will be the use of Dario Saric and Trayce Jackson-Davis in matchups against more physical teams like the Timberwolves or Nuggets. The Warriors will need a presence in the paint, and these players could be important pieces to balance those matchups. The key to success in the playoffs will be flexibility. Kerr must be willing to adjust the rotation as challenges arise, ensuring the team always has the best lineup for each situation. Looking beyond this season, Butler's arrival also raises an interesting question. Are the Warriors still an attractive destination for star players? Even with roster changes, the franchise remains one of the most prestigious in the NBA. Curry's legacy, the winning culture, and the San Francisco location make the team a desirable destination for players seeking both on-court success and off-court opportunities. If the Warriors put together a solid campaign this season, it wouldn't be surprising to see the franchise attempt another bold move in the market. Depending on Klay Thompson's performance and what happens in the postseason, there could be a roster shakeup to make room for another star. Whether through a trade or free agency, the Warriors still have the appeal to attract elite talent. The challenge will be finding the right piece to complement the current core without compromising the development of young players. The Warriors find themselves at a crucial moment. On one hand, they have a promising young core with Podziemski, Moody, and Kuminga. On the other, Curry and Green are in the later stages of their careers, and while Butler is still playing at a high level, he's not a long-term piece. This means the team must balance the ambition to win now with the need to prepare for the future. The next few years will be decisive in determining whether the Warriors can extend their era of success or if they'll need to undergo a deeper rebuild. No matter what happens, one thing is certain. As long as Curry is still playing at a high level, the Warriors can never be counted out. History has already shown that this team knows how to surprise when least expected. An offensive style based on constant movement and precise shooting. Kai, with his versatility and tactical intelligence, would fit perfectly into this scheme, bringing a new dimension to the team's paint. His defensive potential cannot be ignored. The Warriors in recent years have felt the lack of a more dominant presence in rim protection, and Kai has the size and wingspan necessary to fill this gap. With the team's training and defensive system, he could quickly evolve into one of the top paint protectors in the NBA. Additionally, his ability to read the game and distribute passes would make him a facilitator on offense, allowing players like Stephen Curry and his teammates even more freedom to move and find shooting opportunities. This type of player, who understands both offense and defense, is extremely valuable to any team, and the Warriors could greatly benefit from his skill set. If we look at other players who have succeeded in the Warriors system, we see that the team values athletes with high basketball IQ who can make quick decisions and stand out both individually and within the collective. Kai fits this profile perfectly. His growth in the B-League proves that he has the ability to adapt and evolve constantly, fundamental traits to become a key piece in an elite team. The question is not whether Kai Sotto will make it to the NBA, but rather when and with which team. And if it depends on the fans, the Warriors are the perfect choice. The fan community is already doing its part, showing support and excitement at the possibility of seeing Kai on the team. Now, it remains to be seen if the franchise also recognizes this potential and will make a move to secure his signing. If the Warriors truly decide to bet on Kai, they will be acquiring a young talent with a very high ceiling, ready to grow and contribute immediately. With a core already established and the need to strengthen the paint, this could be a strategic move that will bring long-term benefits. And you, Warriors fan, what do you think of this potential signing? Does Kai Sotto have what it takes to make history in the NBA wearing the team's jersey? Leave your opinion in the comments, and don't forget to like the video and turn on notifications so you don't miss any updates about the Warriors. See you next time.